Welcome back to the Perek Project. Our mindset and our belief system have such a powerful effect on the way we live and on our actions that we take. What we're going to see in Mishnah 15 is something fascinating. We're introduced and we're warned away, in fact, from 5 different actions. And at first glance, the 5 different actions look quite unrelated to each other. But when we examine what we're actually being told, we're going to find a framework for Jewish thought and a framework for a mindset and a belief system that is going to enable us to make the most of this world. So let's dive in. Number 1, we're told about someone who desecrates sacred things. Now, this refers to in temple times when something was designated for use in the temple, it became holy and it could not be used for a non-holy purpose. But it's also telling us about our attitude towards ourselves. Sometimes we hear about something, we hear an ideal, we hear something, and we think, that's just for holy people. That's just for great people. And we think there's only a few people that are destined for greatness. But the reality is that the commandment, the mitzvah to be holy, to be great, was given to every single one of us. God created every single one of us with the potential to be great. And we have to recognize that within ourselves. And we can't forfeit that potential for greatness that we each of us have. Following on from this, we're warned about disgracing the festivals. What does that mean? So on a simple level, there's a mitzvah before the festivals to buy delicacies and fine clothing for one's wife and children to honor the festivals. But on a deeper level, what it's telling us is that each of the festivals, they're related to the theme of coming out of Egypt, which gives us, when we look into the story of how we came out of Egypt, it teaches us a fundamental belief. And that belief is that God didn't just create the world and then left it, but God is continually involved in our life. And when we can internalize this mindset, it changes how we live our lives. So we see that each of us has the potential for greatness and that God continually cares about each one of us. So now he warns us about humiliating another person in public. And we're told that in the most strongest terms about how terrible it is. In fact, we're told that it's preferable for a person to throw oneself into a burning bush rather than embarrass someone else in public. Why? Because when a person is embarrassed in public, their blood drains from their faith. And in Jewish thought, we're told that it's so bad, we're considered like murdering them. So what does it mean it's better to jump into a burning bush? That imagine someone's in a building that's on fire and there's 2 ways out. Which way are they going to choose? They're going to choose the way that's least painful. And what the Midrash is telling us here is that the idea of embarrassing someone else should be so reprehensible to us that jumping into a burning bush should be less painful than that. And when we internalize that each of us is created in the image of God, embarrassing someone else publicly is something that's just not possible when we have internalized that mindset. Next, he talks about the covenant of Abraham, the Brit Milah, the reminder that we have a special mission to fulfill in this world. And finally, the importance of studying and understanding the Torah according to the correct way of understanding it in order for us to understand what that mission for us to accomplish in this world is. So what at first looked like 5 separate things are actually 5 mindsets, 5 foundations that can really inform how we live our lives. When we understand that every single one of us has the potential for greatness and that God cares continually about each one of us and that we are created in the image of God and that we have a special mission which the Torah teaches us about, it informs our life and it gives such tremendous meaning to our life.